this is Karim Rao from IT Visualizer channel. Today we will continue our lab, the transformers. This is my 29th video. Today we are continuing our series of videos, about maybe now 9 or 10 videos talking about the Pfsense Firewall and the different packages that we have installed on it. We have installed the Squid proxy and the Squid guard, and Squid proxy and Squid guard is for web filtering. Okay, you want to block some websites or allowing it. This is basically what the Squid proxy and Squid guard do. And then we have in the previous video installed the package of pf blocker ng, and this is also does the same function as the Squid proxy and the Squid server, Squid guard, sorry. But for the pf blocker, it contains some additional features that doesn't exist in the Squid proxy and Squid guard. For example, like GeoIP blocking, which can block different websites by geographical location. For example, if you need to block some websites from China, you can block it, or you can block, for example, a continent from Africa, you can do this, or maybe some countries in a specific. All of this is done through GeoIP option. And also you can use from the pf blocker contains another very important feature, that it allows HTTPS websites to pass. As we said before, there is a problem with the Squid proxy and the Squid guard concerning the HTTPS passing it. Okay, you need to have a certification from the firewall, issued from the firewall, and then you need to import it to every browser for every client on your network, or for anyone who wants to access the internet. Maybe this certifications or the certification solution can be applied easily to Windows OS systems, or maybe for laptops, or maybe for workstations, but it breaks when it is implemented on Android system and iPhone systems. So here comes the pf blocker ng. It doesn't break or it allows HTTPS websites without the use of the certification solution. It passes the HTTPS websites perfectly on the Android system and iOS systems, like iPhone and etc. So as we said before, now we have discussed with the Pfsense Firewall the Squid proxy and the Squid guard and the pf net blocker. Today we will discuss another very important package, free package also. It's called Snort. Snort, it is an intrusion detection system. Maybe we need to know what does it mean to have, what is the meaning of intrusion detection. Intrusion. We will have a brief of what Snort is and what is intrusion detection. Okay, the intrusion detection, you can see here a small brief about it. Intrusion detection is a device or software that monitors a network for miscellaneous activity or policy violations. Any miscellaneous activity or violation is typically reported or collected centrally using a security information and event management system. Some IDs are capable of responding to detected intrusion upon discovery. These are classified as intrusion prevention. Basically, from this brief description, it's a software that is responsible for preventing hacking from outside, or preventing stealing of sensitive data, or passing sensitive data in and out of your network, and to monitor every activity in the network, and to see if any one of these activities are considered a threat. Okay, actually what we will use this type of intrusion detection that we will add to our Pfsense Firewall, it is called Snort. Okay, so here we can see this is basically what intrusion detection means. If anyone needs to read more, this is briefly what it says. Okay, so here we will use something called Snort. Okay, sorry, I think I will go to the website itself. Let's go to Wikipedia. Okay, what does it say? Snort. It is, as I said before, an intrusion detection prevention system, the ability to perform real-time traffic analysis. Okay, this is basically what we can see from the intrusion detection, that it is it works on analyzing your internet or internet traffic in and out, and to see if there is any suspicious traffic to a certain website, or there is something from inside the network is talking to, or a sensitive data is getting out of your internal network to outside, or vice versa, or there is something from outside trying to enter your internal network. This is briefly what the intrusion detection does. So even it says it contains a sniffer mode. It's working on the packet. I think it's working on the package level. Okay, it doesn't concern us, but Snort is one of these pre-softwares that can be added as an intrusion detection system to the Pfsense Firewall. Okay, so this is good. Okay, to have an intrusion detection system. Most of the commercial type of firewalls contains a lot of what we have added here in the Pfsense Firewall. For example, FortiGate, it acts as an intrusion detection, and acts as an antivirus, and acts as web filtering, okay, and acts as a lot of things, okay, but actually all of them are paid, but you are paying because of the updating of the software and the updating of the and the support. You are paying for the support, and also for latest blacklists, the latest antiviruses. All of this are updated and sent to you regularly. Okay, but when we are working with the free stuff, okay, it depends upon the contribution of the developers, or the contributions of the contributors. Okay, so mostly if you are going to use you want to use a dependable firewall solution, I encourage you to use a commercial one, okay, if you have money. But if you don't have money, then you can use the Pfsense. It does most of the commercial firewalls does, okay, and it also have a commercial license. Okay, it is added on some type of firewalls like Netgear, I think. Anyway, we will discuss today the how to install Snort, and how to use or to get the most out of it as an intrusion detection system. Okay, so here we will begin our lab. Sorry, I have it will be from two parts, because actually it's a little bit there is some configuration to be done, a lot of them. So here we have powered on the firewall. So here it's loading the different interfaces and the different services, the DNS resolver, and we have installed the captive portal on it. You remember from a previous video, the captive portal is a solution to let the user access the internet with a username and a password, or with a voucher. And we have discussed what is a voucher. A voucher, it's a code, and you can make this code for a specific or limited or for certain time, for example like 1 hour, 1 week, 1 month, any type of duration you need. So here we can see that our captive portal service is up and running, and then the vouchers in our previous lab it is enabled also. And this is the cron. The cron, it is a service working with the PF blocker, and this is the squid package beginning, the squid proxy also. I said before, when upgrading to the Pfsense Firewall 2.4.5 there was a problem with the squid package. It should be updated, and actually I have got a successful upgrade for this package, but after the upgrade the squid proxy is not working anymore, or the service is not up and running. So we will see in my upcoming video how to solve this issue, or to begin troubleshooting this problem. So here we now access the firewall and begin the process of adding the Snort package, which is, as I said before, it is an intrusion detection system. You will access the firewall with our local password. As I said before, you can work with a local password which we have set up in the beginning of installing the firewall, and it have a default password of Pfsense. You should rename it, or you should change it after accessing the firewall. And you can access the firewall with the Active Directory username and account, because we have already made an integration in our previous videos with the Active Directory in our Active Directory domain. But actually I am powering off the my two domain controllers, because actually I don't need them now. I am testing all of my services now on a guest network or on another network.
Because I really enjoy
okay, this is the guy that I'm using his videos to set up the Snort. This is called Lawrence. Okay, you can you know, it's a very famous guy. He have a YouTube channel. Here we can see something. Let me discuss what I am doing here. Here in the captive portal, after you put your username and password to access the internet, it takes you to a website. These websites may be your company website, maybe something to any website that you need, but basically in hotels like mine or something, after accessing the internet it will redirect you to the Sheraton webpage or to the Marriott hotels. So this is a very good option, just to let your guests see, or it's a propaganda for the hotel, or for or advertisement, free advertisement, okay, for you. So here I am in this field, it's saying after pre-authentication redirect URL, and after authentication. So I need the user, after authenticating or putting the username and the password and they are correct, I need him to, after authentication, or after authentications means that he inspects the username and the password, and if they are right he will let you go in. Okay, so after authentication I need him to, or after successful authentication I need him to go to Transformers, this website, because our lab and our entire series, it's about the Transformers domain. Okay, so I need him to be redirected to this website after successful authentication. Okay, and then another thing we need to now we will save, and then I will add another option in the captive portal. You can make the captive portal using HTTPS protocol. Okay, because mostly this okay, let me show you also what I mean here. Okay, you can get a little bit further. Here we can see that enable HTTPS login. The portal page, it's using the HTTP protocol. so it's not secure. So enable it's not a secure protocol. So if you want your captive portal to use the HTTPS, you have to enable this option and use your certifications issued by the firewall to secure the connection. Okay, and we have discussed before how to make a certification or to issue a certification from the firewall when we were working with the Squid proxy, as I said before. To enable any HTTPS traffic to pass from and to the Pfsense firewall, need to issue a certification from the firewall and import it to every client in your network. So the firewall will not allow any traffic to be passed unless the client gives him the certification that he issued or that the firewall issued. Okay, so we'll use the same certification to enable the HTTPS login sorry to be secure. Okay, so now we will save, and here I am going to the certification manager. I need only a small thing to get from it. We will get here we need to get the name of the server, the name of our firewall, which is pfsense.transformers.local, because when you enable captive portal HTTPS login, you need to give him the certification name and the name of the firewall. So the name of the firewall is pfsense.transformers.local, and the name of the certification will be transformers intermediate-ca. Okay, so this is basically what I am doing. I go to certification manager to get the name of the firewall. I am doing this before actually installing the Snort, because I have missed this configuration, because many of you of course will need to or like to have a secure connection. So here we'll go to the portal page and enable the HTTPS protocol for secure connection, and then he will ask you of the HTTPS server name, which is the name of our firewall. Okay, and then we will choose the certification, which will be transformers domain certification. This is the certification we had issued from the firewall, and then we will click save. We will test this setting later, but because I have forgot to do this in my previous video to set up the captive portal, so I am doing it now to complete what I have missed. Okay, this is also an option called disable HTTPS forwards. It says that if you set it to disable, it will not forward any HTTPS websites to the firewall, I think, actually. Anyway, you have already enabled the option. So now I think I will go and install the Snort package. You go to the package manager, yes, and go to the available packages. And then we will search for the item called Snort. Here we can see that this error appeared with me in my previous video, so I restarted the firewall. I thought it is a regular error. I have already increased the RAM before, because when I search for this error, it says that your RAM is the issue for this error to appear. I have increased the RAM, but still the issue appeared, and I said before in my previous video that it seems to be a problem with the not the RAM, is there is the hard disk of the firewall, it seems, and the system of the firewall. It seems that the hard disk of the firewall is fragmented, and the system, because of the frequent shutdown of the firewall, the system of the Pfsense was corrupted. Okay, so I think the swap error, it was because of the hard disk fragmentation and the Pfsense system corruption. I said before what was the reason for the corruption and the fragmented. As I said before, because of this error. I said before that the FreeBSD system is not compatible or it's not integrated with the VMware tools. As I said before, VMware tools, it is tools that installed on any virtual machine created on the VM Workstation Pro to enable or to facilitate the communication between the VMware Workstation Pro as a software with the virtual machine. What do you mean by facilitating the communication? For example, you can shut down and restart the machine without the need to go to, for example, if you're on Windows, without the need to go to start and then shut down. No, you can do this from a single click on these buttons that contain start and shut down and etc. Okay, this VMware tools works basically with all of the systems, but as for the free, or it is done as an integration between all of the systems perfectly, except of the FreeBSD system, because it is outdated or it is not compatible with the VM Workstation Pro VMware tools. Okay, as I said before, my frequently shutting down the firewall from these icons, basically I think it corrupted the hard disk and the system. So that is the issue of the swap file, I think, error appearing. Okay, as I said before, I don't have also a command, or I don't know commands from the command prompt or from the Linux, or I don't know Linux commands to shut down the firewall and to reboot. Okay, so I am basically, when I want to restart or shut down the firewall, I do this from the icons here. Okay, so I think this, because of this type of action that I have taken, I think this have corrupted the Pfsense Firewall hard disk and the Pfsense system corruption. Okay, but I will see later how we can avoid this problem, and actually we have solutions for fixing the Pfsense corruption system, and also a solution for defragment the hard disk, and I have done this also in a previous video. So here we can see that this error appeared again, and it's telling me that the hard disk of the firewall is fragmented. So we defrag it from edit virtual machine setting and go to the hard disk. Okay, it's the 20 gigs hard disk, and then defragment. It will take a little bit of time, but because the hard disk is small, I think it didn't take, or it will not take so much time. Okay, it's completed, but as soon also I have powered on the virtual machine, I see that the Pfsense Firewall system is working for a little bit of time, but it will be corrupted in a second. But here we are going to install the Snort package and then search and install it, confirm. I'm just checking the firewall system. Okay, I'll tell him to confirm. Installing the Snort package. Here it's downloading the Snort package, and then it will begin extracting the package. Here is the download finished, and the extraction will begin.
So this part of it hasn't changed.
This is also the video for Lawrence. Okay, I will put it as a reference inside the description of the video. Here we can see that if you return back to the firewall, you will see that the same error appeared again. So as a troubleshooting step, I have thought it was a problem with the hard disk is completely defragmented. I think it was a problem with a corruption in the Pfsense system. Okay, so I think I will shut it down and begin fixing the issue. But actually here the Snort package is successfully installed. As we can see here, it's successfully installed. So here I am logging out of the firewall, and I will shut down completely the firewall and begin fixing the issue with the Pfsense system itself, because the hard disk now it's completely defragmented. Here also I am increasing the RAM just in case. I was just troubleshooting and I thought it was the RAM issue, so I have increased the RAM. You are taking step by step step for troubleshooting. So first I have the hard disk was fragmented. I have done a defragment, and I have increased the RAM to see if it's an issue of the RAM, and then after that we will see, even after increasing the RAM and making a defragment to the hard disk, still there is a problem and the issue. We will see that now in a moment. Here we can see, for example, that the system is corrupted. Okay, there is a problem with the boot file, so we need to fix this issue. So here I have already done this in a previous video. I have a PDF file that contains the command that you need to fix the problem when there is a corruption in the FreeBSD system as a whole. As I said before, that the Pfsense Firewall is based on a FreeBSD system. So how to fix a corruption in the FreeBSD file systems? Okay, I have already this in a video. We should first restart the firewall and then access in a safe mode like Windows, but in Linux it is called single mode. It's number 2. We have to click or press number 2 to get in something called single mode. This is equivalent to something in the Windows called safe mode. Okay, safe mode with command prompt. Okay, if it's to be specific. Here now we need to now get the command for fixing this corruption. It is said before, trying to mount, there is a problem with the boot file or the system file. Specifically in the boot system files for the FreeBSD system. Actually I didn't succeed in going to the single mode or the safe mode equivalent, as I said, so you need to type or press 2. I think I have succeeded in doing this. I will press 2 and then you will see now after a couple of seconds that it is saying that you are in the single mode. Just a minute. Yes, here you will tell him enter full pass, press enter. Now you are in the command prompt mode, so you need to go to get the command for fixing the boot file or the boot file systems for the firewall to make it able or to make it works normally again. So here I have already this PDF for fixing the FreeBSD systems. It is in my transformers folder. As I said before, this folder, the folder as a whole, contains a lot of things. I have already zipped it and put it on a Google Drive location. Okay, and it is in every description under every video on the Transformers lab. Okay, so here we can see that we need to have 2 commands. Just for a moment. The first command we need to do is cat/ect/fstp. Normally what this command does, that it gets you the files of the boot system for the FreeBSD. As I said before, the problem is with the boot files of the FreeBSD system, so this cat/ect/fstab, it will get you the boot files and their location, so we can then copy the location of the boot file and use another command to fix this boot file. Okay, so here we can see that our boot file, that it is corrupted. It is this file def/uvsd/ this is the boot file. Okay, the swap file, as I said before, we don't need the swap file. And how did I know that this is the problem of this? The problem is with this file because the error that the firewall says that there is a problem with this file, and actually the swap file, it's not the issue with it, because the swap file, it's used as a RAM, okay, as a virtual RAM. Okay, so here we will tell him this command fsck-yf. I don't know the abbreviation all of this, but what you all need to know, that this is the file or this is the command to fix the problem. Okay, so I'm telling him to fix the problem with the this boot file. You need to be very specific and very accurate, because the file name is a little bit long and it contains some numerical and some letters, some numbers and letters. So I'm just to be very accurate. so here the command begins the fixing of the boot files for the FreeBSD system. At the end it will give you a message saying that it has already fixed the problem. Okay, system marked clean, system was modified. Then you need to type the command reboot to make the firewall reboot, okay, or to restart. Okay, it's getting out of the command single access or getting out of the single user shell. Okay, this is the command prompt. He's getting out of the command prompt mode, and now he is restarting the firewall. Well, it's good to troubleshoot or to have these problems arising during our lab, so you have a clear idea on how to fix common issues with this firewall. Okay. As a precaution, I prefer to have even if this problem arises again, you need to have regular backups of any virtual machine or even of the firewall, to have a backup of the firewall. Of course you will not be able to have a backup of the firewall system, but you need to have a backup of the configuration of the firewall. So if for any time or for any reason the firewall system is corrupted, you can reset your firewall and then restore your firewall configuration. This is the best practice. Always back up your firewall on different or frequent intervals, so you can be able to restore the configuration if anything happens to the firewall. Here we can see that the package of the PF blocker appeared. So now the firewall system is up and running, so we'll go and see how to begin configuring the configuration of the Snort package. It was installed successfully. I will show you that a problem has arisen when I try to access the Snort. It gives me an error. Actually, every now and then I'm trying to see the firewall system to make sure that the error disappeared. Here we can see that the Snort is added, but as soon as you access it, to say it's 404 not found. Okay, so I thought there was a problem with the Snort package, so I went to the package manager and reinstalled the Snort package. Okay, I thought the problem was maybe with the package itself, it wasn't installed successfully, or it needs to be reinstalled. So I went to the installed packages. Here we can see there is a couple of packages that need to be updated. So here we will upgrade. This is the OpenVPN client export. We have done this in a previous video. This is the package that we use to access or to make a VPN to our network. Okay, here this package is, let me show you all when this icon appears. Let's go a little bit when it goes. Okay, here if we can see here, for example, that there is an icon, it's 2 arrows. This means that this package need to be updated. Okay, here we can see that this Snort, it is successfully, this is the check mark, means it is successfully installed. But as for the error that appeared for a couple of seconds, I will reinstall. Here is the icon for reinstalling. Okay, so this is reinstalling, and this icon means that it is needed to have an update, and it's marked with orange yellow. Okay, I said before, here it is current or update. Okay, and here we will upgrade the squid. Here we can see that it is upgrading the squid components, or the squid package. Here I went to the installed packages and reinstalled the Snort package to solve the problem for that the configuration didn't appear for me. Here I will reinstall the package. Okay, and then confirm. Okay, it is reinstalled. So now we will try to access the first I'm getting to the installed packages section to see if there is any packages that needed to be updated or something. All of the packages are updated. So we'll go to the Snort. We can see now that it's working. So now we'll begin configuration of the Snort. We will go to the global setting. We will enable download of Snort's free registration. Here we just a moment. We'll get a little bit here. Here we will check this option, enable Snort free registered paid subscriber rules. Here the intrusion detection, as I said before, its main function is to monitor the traffic coming in and out of your network, and to see if any of this traffic is marked is marked as dangerous, or it's not, or it's going to suspicious places. So how the intrusion detection knows that this traffic is suspicious or not good? This is done through some rules that it is built in this system. So to get these rules, you need to register to the Snort website to get these rules. Okay, just a minute. I think my laptop needs charging. Just a minute. So here, as I said before, that for the intrusion detection to know that any traffic coming in and out of your network, it is suspicious or it is going it is marked as dangerous, you need to work with some rules that built in each system. So to get these rules, you need to sign into the Snort website and get these rules, okay, for free. So we will click on enable download, and then we will make an account on the Snort website so we can be able to get the rules, so we can begin working with the intrusion detection system. Okay, sign up for a free register user rules account. Here we will put I need to sign up. Okay, I think here it is. We need to put my email and a password. I think Snort it's working the same as Wireshark. You know, it's like a sniffing tool. It sniffs the data coming in and out of your network. So, and according to some rules built in the system, if it sees anything suspicious, it blocks it, or it alerts you to it. Okay. So here, after I have already registered myself, I need to go to my email and activate the Snort account. I have my Gmail account. Here we can see that the Snort, I think this is not no reply confirmation. Yes, this is the mail. Here we can confirm my account. Here I will put my email. Now I can use my account. I will put my email address, my password, tell him to remember me. Now we have our account activated. Here we need to put, after activating the account, we need to get a code. So when we put this code in the Snort package, it will download the rules or the intrusion detection rules for us. Okay, so what is basically what we do here, we will click on enable download of Snort rules. Okay, and enable, this is all options to enable the rules to be downloaded. As I said before, rules is very important for the Snort or for this intrusion detection to work. But before that, we need a code. After registration, we need to get the code of the Snort website and put it in our Snort package in the Pfsense to make it able to download the firewall, the intrusion detection rules. Okay. So we need to register with the Snort. Then we need to, after registration, to get a code and put it in the Snort package in the Pfsense, so the Snort package in the Pfsense would be able to download the Snort intrusion detection rules from the website. Okay, so here actually I didn't know how to get this code, so I searched Google to get it. Okay, here we will click also on, this is all options to enable download of the intrusion detection rules. Okay, all of these are rules to be downloaded. Okay, and then we tell him to update the Snort every 1 day, and click the bridge. This is all options concerning the rules. And then if, for example, here's this option, it says if he sees any or detect any suspicious activity from inside or outside the network, you need to block the host that's doing, or the one that's working from inside your network, to block this user from any activity on the internet for 30 minutes. Okay, this is basically what it does. Okay, because you don't need to block him completely. You don't know if it is maybe a false alarm or it's not suspicious, because sometimes the intrusion detections get a false, as I said, false positive, I think it's called false positive alert. Maybe it's the McAfee, or maybe it's a firewall doing some changes, or a firewall communicating, or maybe site of your company is working on something. So you need also to make sure that it doesn't block the user completely. So you block any suspicious activity for 30 minutes until you suspect until you inspect as a IT what this activity is, and then you can allow it or block it finally or indefinitely. Okay, here we can see that it tells me that we need to get the code, Snort code, to enable the firewall rules to be downloaded. And then there is also another option in the, I will show you in a couple of seconds what does this mean. Here we can see that we can stop for a moment. Here we can see that this uptime, enter the rule update start in whatever. This is the time that the intrusion detection rules to be updated. Okay, so it's here, it's not complete, it is in hours and minutes. So here the format is not complete. We need to complete it because he's saying that this format is not right. Okay, so it's randomly 00, it means that 12 noon. Okay, but we need to add, this is only in a minute, the missing of the seconds section. Okay, so here he was saying to me that this update start time is not correct, so I need to put it in a correct format. So I think I will type 00, so it will be at 12 noon. I think afternoon or noon, I think it's noon, 12 noon maybe. Yes, here we go. It's
alright, I hit save.
Okay, this is Lawrence. Okay, as I said before, I will put a reference for his video, so if anyone wants to follow up his videos, this is he's a very good guy in what concerns the Pfsense Firewall and its rules. So here we need to get, after working with after fixing the update time issue, we need to get the code so we can be able to tell the Snort package in the Pfsense Firewall to download the Snort rules. Okay, so here how to get this code. I didn't know how to do it, so I searched Google. So on how to get the here we can see that, just a minute, I think I paused it. Here we can see that you need to have on-key master code so he can enable you to get the Snort rules. Okay, so here how to get this code. We have registered to get the code, but where is the code in the website of the Snort website? We will see how we can get it. So here I have searched the internet. So here we can see that it tells you that it is in at the top right corner of the website. We will see how we can get this code. Here we can see that when we click on my email, okay, here we can see that there is a section called on-key code. This is the code. So we will copy it and then we will put it in the section of Snort on-key code. As soon as we put this code, we'll be able to download the intrusion detection rules. Okay, so now it's complete. we will continue our configuration of the Snort rules. Okay, so here we'll access the firewall again. As we can see here that after fixing the Pfsense and doing all of our troubleshooting problems, the system seems to be stable. So this is why every now and then I'm checking the firewall command prompt window to make sure that there is no problem. Here we can see that I have two problems. Actually, I will try to solve them in my upcoming video. The Squid proxy service is not working, and the Snort that you are currently using, it still doesn't work, but it will work after completing the configuration. But still, the Squid proxy, there is a problem. We need to make sure what it is, but I will troubleshoot it later. Maybe you can see the log or reinstall the package as a whole. I'm trying to start the service, but still there is a problem. Here we can see still there is no problem with the firewall. Here we will go and complete our configuration of the Snort. I think I am checking the packages to see if the Squid needed to be updated or something. No, there is no updates for the Squid or the Squid guard. So here we will begin, or we will complete our configuration with, here I am trying to check the Squid. It seems to be working. Here we will complete our configuration for the global setting. Here we will tell him to update the rules. Now we have done putting the code that we have got from the Snort website. Then we will update the intrusion detection rules. It will take a little bit of time, so I will pause the video until the rules are downloaded. All of them are downloaded here. So here we will begin telling the Snort which interfaces to monitor. He will monitor our WAN interface and our two LAN interfaces. We will see now. Actually, the intrusion detection only monitors the WAN, not the LAN, but we can tell him to monitor the LAN as well. Okay, so we have added the interface, which is the WAN, and tell him to monitor this interface for any suspicious activity. Okay, we can see that it is the WAN, and here is the setting. We just only enabled and they enabled the interface and left everything unchecked. Sorry, everything to the default. Okay, here we will check use IPS policy, check if the Snort policies okay, and the security IPS policy selection. I think let me go for a couple of seconds. Here we can see that is telling if checked, Snort will use rules from one of the three predefined IPS policies in Snort subscriber rules. Okay, this is telling him that he will use the Snort default policies that it is injected, or that it is in the Snort software. And you have three types of policies. You can tell him to be very strict, to be moderate strict, or to be not restrict at all. It's like something like high risk, low risk, medium risk. Okay, so this is the type of policies that we will use. So we will tell him to use the security. There is 3 types of security, or 4: conductivity, balanced security, and max detect. So we'll use the security one, which is like medium security. This is under here. This is all the rules that the Snort uses. So now we have already enabled the rules and enabled the interface that the Snort will monitor for any suspicious activity, which is the WAN activity. So now we have some different settings to be added. Auto rule disable. This means, okay, let me go a little bit further again. Sorry. Here, this option, it says that if there is a rule that it's making problems, or there is a rule it's making conflict or making problems with the Snort, he will disable it automatically. Okay, this is good, because if there is a rule, if you put 2 rules, or there is 2 rules in the Snort that is conflicting each other, he will disable the rule that's making the problem. Okay, so this is also a good option to enable it. Here, application detection. This is another, let me show you all. This is Snort when he is monitoring your WAN activity, or monitoring the activity of your internal network to the internet. He has something called Open App ID. The Snort intrusion detection system knows which traffic is coming from which application. He has the ability to know, for example, if the traffic or the packet coming from, or with this number, or the packet that it is with this specific setting. This is coming, for example, from the Apple application. For example, the packet with a specific setting, this comes from the Windows. For example, the packet with the data packet which comes with a specific settings coming, for example, from the VLC player. Okay, so we have something called Open App ID. This is to detect various applications. Okay, this is very good to identify which packet is coming from which application. Okay, so we will use it. And then we will save. So now I'm trying to click on the interface and begin the Snort. So here we can see that a problem arises. The Snort is not working. So I think maybe I need to reinstall the package, but this I think will be in the upcoming video. But let me check if there is another thing to be done. I'm still trying to activate the Snort on this interface, but still it is not working. Here I'm trying to see if there is any logs I can check if there is a problem with the Snort. Here I'm trying again to start the Snort. Here I'm trying to restart the squid and the Snort, but with no luck or with no success. So in my upcoming video I will try to troubleshoot the problem. Maybe I need to reinstall both packages again, but if I will do this, I need to first back up the configuration of the firewall and then remove these two packages and then reinstall them again and then restore the backup. But I think I will do this, and also before this I need to take a snapshot from the virtual machine of the firewall. Okay, so to take every precaution before doing any change in the firewall. Okay, so I think I did already a reboot to make sure that maybe the problem is that I need to reboot the firewall, and as you see I have rebooted the firewall from inside the graphical interface, so I don't use this option here. As I said before, I think it is the main issue or the main problem of my firewall problems. So I think it's restarting. It will take a little bit of time here configuring the firewall. Okay, no, sorry, this is the firewall setting. So here I'm trying to access the firewall again, and here I am seeing that the firewall CPU is 100%, so I am waiting for some time until the firewall CPU is working normally. Here we can see that I have increased my RAM to be 3 GB. Okay, here I'm trying to begin the Snort and the squid, but with no success. I think I need to see the logs. So here I'm trying to add if there is any interfaces to be added to the dashboard to see if maybe there is. Sorry, just a minute. Sorry, let's complete our app. So here, as we can see, that still the problem arises. Okay, the Snort is not working, but here I will continue in my upcoming video to see how we can solve this problem. So I hope this was informative for you, and I would like to thank you all for viewing. Thank you. Here we can see, okay, so here, okay.